Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just had a huge upset win versus the Minnesota Vikings. I don't think that is a stretch to say that, right? I think that all things considered, a lot of people, both national and local, wrote the Buccaneers off in this game, and it's fair to see why. The Minnesota Vikings were a team that had won 13 games last year, had made it to the playoffs, and, were just a really good team last year. But the Bucs won 20-17. And we're going to be kind of going over the game right now. And I got to start off with Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was, a quality starting quarterback in this game, right? No interceptions, no fumbles, no turnovers from Baker Mayfield. That's huge, right, in of itself. Great job by Baker to protect the football and just not make any big mistakes, right? But while he did start off slow in the first half, and I do want to talk about that, Baker in the second half was fantastic. Gutsy, was able to make plays and just make enough plays to win the football game. That was huge, right? That was such a huge thing for Baker to do, and he did it well, right? Now, the first half, things could have started off better for Baker, right? He did have a couple of touchdowns, which was good, right? I believe he had a touchdown to Mike Evans and a touchdown to Trey Palmer, which was good. And in the second half, I know the Bucs only scored 3 points, right? You obviously want to do more than that in the second half. But I think Baker was able to take control of the game throughout the second half, which was huge. Able to take control of the game in the second half and really just help the Buccaneers not make any mistakes and just get the win. And that's what you want to see out of a starting caliber quarterback, right? So I think Baker did a good job in that role. And, what a confidence builder, right? For Baker, for the Bucs in Baker Mayfield to go out there, have a solid game, all things considered, and get a win. Like, great stuff. Great stuff there. The running game could have been better in this one. Now, the rushing attempts were there, right? Rachaad White had 17 attempts. I think Sean Tucker had about 5, something like that. They used him a lot. Didn't see any Keyshawn Vaughn. Saw a little bit of Chase Edmonds, but the rushing yardage was not there. I think Rachaad White had 60 yards on 17 carries, something like that. Sean Tucker only had a handful of yards as well. Got to get better at run blocking from the offensive line, especially if that's going to be your MO, is running the football, kind of controlling games on the ground. You've got to run the football better than what we saw today. Now, in crucial moments, it was fine, I think, all things considered. But you just want better, consistency with the run game. I think that's so huge for them moving forward. And that's what I would be looking for. The wide receiver room, Mike Evans had a touchdown. Trey Palmer had a touchdown. Chris Godwin had an incredible late game catch to help put the Buccaneers ahead. I think the offensive line did a lot of what I think the wide receiver room did a lot of what you wanted to see. Saw a little bit of Devin Tompkins in there as well. I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see. Saw a little bit of Raheem Jarrett. Didn't do much with the, opportunities that he was given. But, that trio of Evans, Godwin, and Palmer did some work today. Ko Keith had a few targets. Didn't do much with that. K. Dotton had a target or two. Was fine. But I think that, from your star guys, right, Evans and Godwin, you saw what you wanted to see, which was some good stuff there. And I think, very happy with how those guys performed. Pass blocking as well, just kind of note on that. I think Baker did hold on to the ball a little bit too long in the first half, but, I think overall he was fine in terms of, sack numbers and stuff like that. Didn't feel like he was getting pressured too much throughout the game. The Vikings have themselves a very good pass rush as well, but the run blocking, man, got to improve the run blocking. It's something we've been talking about for years now. It's just the run blocking's not there for this offensive line, and that's certainly got to improve. Defensively now, firstly, defensive line, I think they did some good job. Some good jobs, so to speak. Run defense, I think, was right where you want it to be. Alexander Mattison did have a receiving touchdown, but really didn't run the football well for Minnesota. They passed a lot in this game. 44 passes, I think, from Kirk Cousins, and he did have 350 yards. We'll talk about that in a moment. But run defense was overall really good for the Bucs in this game. Pass rush, let's talk about that. Anthony Nelson was in there. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka was in there. Antoine Winfield Jr. had a sack. Logan Hall, brought some pressure. I think he had a tackle for loss in there as well. Shaq Barrett was in there. Like this, the front seven did a really good job today, I think. Levante David, Devin White made a couple of plays as well. Like, it's a good game from the front seven, both in terms of run defense and some pass rush in there as well. Got to talk about a couple of the turnovers, or the takeaways that the Buccaneers got. I believe Anthony Nelson had a fumble recovered, which was one. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka had a fumble recovered as well. Kirk Cousins got sacked, fumbled the ball once. And then there was a botched snap between the Vikings center and Kirk Cousins. So that was some good opportunities for the Bucs there. If that didn't happen, could have possibly been a different ball game, but it is notable. And the Buccaneers, won the takeaway turnover battle in that instance. Also, Kirk Cousins had an interception late in the second half to Christian Izien. Great play by the undrafted rookie, by the way, jumping a Kirk Cousins pass, getting an interception. That could have really changed the dynamic of the game if Kirk Cousins went out there and threw a touchdown instead of an interception, but it just completely shifted momentum in the other direction in favor of the Bucs because of that Christian Izien play. So just huge moment there. Really can't, praise the defense enough. You held a very strong Minnesota Vikings offense to only 17 points. And Kirk Cousins, while he did have 344 passing yards, while Justin Jefferson certainly got his yardage with, I think he had like 150 yards or something like that, it was still a big deal. It was still a big defensive day, I think, all things considered. Again, it goes back to in terms of making the plays when they mattered most. Carlton Davis had a really nice pass deflection late in the game on a third down attempt to Jordan Addison, where if Addison caught that, would have been a first down. Vikings might have gotten the ball rolling. Didn't happen. Carlton Davis got himself pass deflection and changed the dynamic of the game there. So that was huge, man. That was huge. Finally, I want to talk about Chase McLaughlin. Dude went crazy. Had a 57-yard field goal. That was nuts. And I do want to talk about that, right? Like, first off, Chase McLaughlin made all of his kicks. Great confidence builder for McLaughlin. Great confidence builder for the Bucs in McLaughlin. You love to see that. But can we talk about Todd Bowles for a minute, right? Because Todd Bowles had two gutsy plays in this game. And it was in the fourth quarter, right? Number one was the Chase McLaughlin field goal. That's huge. You love that. But number two was calling it on fourth down, just keeping the offense out there in your own territory. Now, if I told you guys that of all the coaches in the league, Todd Bowles was the guy to do that, you probably wouldn't believe me, but that was what Todd Bowles did in this game. And I got to give credit where credit's due, man. Like, gutsy plays by Bowles, and they worked. And I will even say this, even if they did not work, I am still a strong supporter of just going out there and going for it, man. And the Bucs did that in this one, which I thought was a good thing to see from Bowles. It was a really good thing to just get done, right? So, like, I'm going to give Bowles credit there. Good job to him for that. And it worked out in this situation. It really did. So, yeah, the Buccaneers got themselves a huge win, right? I think now you're going to see the national side of things maybe take more of a notice of the Bucs and go, whoa, it's a big win for them. Defense looked pretty good. Offense probably wasn't where you wanted it to be, but, showed good signs, especially in that second half, gutsy signs in the second half. And Baker Mayfield looked better than I think people were going to give him credit for. And I think the Bucs just looked better than what people were going to give them credit for. Point blank simple as that. So now, like, what a huge way to start off the season, right? This could be season defining. I know it's early to say something like that, but, like, what a great win to go out there in week one and get a win like that, man. Against a good Minnesota Vikings team, against a team who's, I would say top 2-3 team in the NFC whenever they're on it. Like, you went out there and you got to win against them, man. That's not an easy thing to do. And the Buccaneers were able to go out there and do that. So that's huge. But folks, I want to know your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let me know your thoughts about this game. 20-17 win by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who did you think shined? Who did you think didn't do so good? Would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. But again, hey, folks, enjoy your Victory Monday, man. And enjoy it. Should be a good one. And, just enjoy this crazy Bucs upset win, man, because it's cool stuff. So, guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, folks, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, enjoy Victory Monday. Bucs win, and go Bucs. See you guys soon.